Imagine you're 35 years old. You work hard every day. Your paycheck arrives every 2 weeks. Bills get paid. Groceries are bought. Maybe there's a family vacation once a year. At the end of every month, there's almost nothing left. Now let me introduce you to someone. Her name is Sarah. Sarah isn't rich. She isn't a finance expert. She doesn't have a business. She isn't a millionaire. She's simply a marketing coordinator living in Chicago. For years, Sarah believed something many people still believe. Investing is for rich people. And that one sentence quietly cost her thousands of dollars. One afternoon, Sarah was having lunch with her coworker, Emily. Emily casually mentioned that her investments had grown by almost $15,000 over the last few years. Sarah laughed and said, "Wow, you must be making a lot more money than me." Emily smiled and replied, "I actually earn about the same salary as you." Sarah looked confused. "Then how?" Emily asked a simple question. "How much do you invest every month?" Sarah answered honestly, "I don't invest." Emily looked surprised. "Not even through your company's retirement plan?" Sarah shook her head. "I thought investing was risky." That sentence stayed in Sarah's mind all day, not because Emily judged her, but because she realized something. She wasn't avoiding risk. She was avoiding learning. That evening, Sarah opened her laptop. She didn't search, "How do I become rich overnight?" Instead, she searched, "How do beginners invest?" She learned something that changed her perspective forever. Investing wasn't gambling. It was simply buying tiny ownership pieces of businesses, companies she already knew, companies she bought products from every week. She also discovered something surprising. She didn't need thousands of dollars. She could start with just $50 a month. Suddenly, investing felt possible. Before investing, Sarah did something smart. She built an emergency fund with enough money to cover 3 months of living expenses. It wasn't exciting. Nobody posts emergency funds on social media. But it gave her confidence. Next, she paid off her high-interest credit card because earning 10% while paying 24% in interest simply doesn't make financial sense. Only then did Sarah feel ready to invest. Sarah enrolled in her company's 401k. She almost skipped it. Then she discovered something incredible. Her employer matched part of her contribution. She realized she'd been saying no to free money for nearly 4 years. Imagine walking past a $100 bill every payday and never picking it up. That's how she felt. She promised herself, never again. Like many beginners, Sarah wanted to buy exciting stocks. Everyone online was talking about the next big company. Instead, she remembered something Emily had told her. "You don't need to find the next winner. You can own all the winners." So Sarah invested in a low-cost index fund. Instead of betting on one company, she owned hundreds. She stopped trying to beat the market. She simply became part of it. Months passed. Then the market fell. Her investments lost value. Sarah panicked. She almost sold everything. Then Emily sent one simple text message. "Nothing about your future changed today, only today's prices." Sarah took a deep breath. She didn't sell. She continued investing every month. She trusted the plan instead of her emotions. 5 years passed. Sarah wasn't a millionaire. She wasn't driving a luxury car. She wasn't posting screenshots of huge profits online. But something far more important had changed. She no longer worried every time an unexpected bill arrived. She had an emergency fund. Her retirement account kept growing. Her investments continued working while she slept. For the first time in her life, money wasn't controlling her. She was controlling her money. Sarah's story isn't special. It happens every single day. The difference between people who build wealth and people who don't usually isn't income. It's action. You don't have to know everything before you begin. You don't need thousands of dollars. You don't need to predict the stock market. You simply need to start. Because the best day to invest was years ago. The second best day is today. If Sarah's story reminded you of yourself, don't wait another year before taking that first step. Subscribe to Mr. Whyzer, where every week we turn complicated money topics into simple stories that help you build a better financial future. Because becoming wiser with money starts with one decision, and that decision could be today.